Good day, everyone. Welcome to Real Conservative Headline News. I'm your host, Nathaniel Rajkumar. Starting off locally here in Trinidad and Tobago, Chief Justice of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable Mr. Justice Ronnie Boodoosingh, has returned from Barbados following his participation in a regional workshop aimed at overhauling how criminal cases are managed across the Caribbean courts. The two-day gathering, hosted by the Chief Justice of Barbados under the European Union-funded PACE Justice Project, convened some of the region's most senior judicial figures, including chief justices, chief magistrates, directors of public prosecutions like the DPP we have in Trinidad and Tobago. Roger Gaspard. Waste of time. Waste of taxpayers' dollars. Court administrators and registrars, with one goal: tackling the persistent problem of criminal case backlogs that have long plagued justice systems across the region. Song like Papi Show. If it happens, it's good enough. To me, just sound like another Papi Show, another PR stunt. At the heart of the workshop was the review and approval of 3 model standard operating procedures for magistrates' courts and complex criminal matters in the High Court. These procedures, now validated by regional stakeholders, will be adapted and rolled out within participating jurisdictions in the months ahead. For Trinidad and Tobago, the rollout is set to begin as early as July. Chief Justice Boodoosingh said implementation will involve criminal judges, children court judges, masters and magistrates, with support for the judicial education, from the Judicial Education Institute, Trinidad and Tobago, and the Criminal Justice Board. The aim is to create a more structured and efficient approach to managing criminal cases, he said. Now, if it does end up taking place, wonderful. To me, I don't trust anything they say anymore. Nothing that comes out of these people and I'm out, I trust a million. But if it does, and it means that the time is going to be reduced in order to be able to, for these, especially murder cases, to be completed within, I think it's the 5-year limit or whatever, so that rope justice can be enforced. If that takes place, that is wonderful news. But when it comes to these politicians, I don't know what to believe anymore, I'm telling you. To me, everything that is said now is a big PR stunt.
Weather report for Thursday, June 25, 2026, Trinidad and Tobago. On Thursday, June 25, 2026, the weather in Trinidad and Tobago will be predominantly hazy, warm and breezy. Maximum daytime temperatures will reach 31 degrees Celsius to 32 degrees Celsius, and overnight lows will dip to 24 degrees Celsius to 26 degrees Celsius. According to the Trinidad and Tobago Meteorological Service, a moderate to strong concentration of Saharan dust will blanket the islands. This haze will restrict widespread rainfall, limiting precipitation to isolated, brisk afternoon showers. High concentrations of Saharan dust will impact air quality, and individuals with respiratory sensitivities or allergies should take necessary health precautions. Expect steady easterly to east-southeasterly winds blowing between 10 km per hour to 45 km per hour, with higher gusty conditions possible near elevated terrains. Due to the high humidity, temperatures will feel significantly warmer, bringing the peak daytime feels like heat index to 35 degrees Celsius. Marine conditions remain moderate, with waves in open waters forecast to reach up to 2.5 meters, while sheltered areas will remain calmer at around 1.0 to 1.5 meters.
Regional news now. President Dr. Irfan Ali, accompanied by Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony and Minister of Agriculture Zulfikar Mustafa, met with leadership and staff of the Government Analyst Food and Drug Department to review the country's food safety oversight. Something that needs to be done, especially in India a lot, boy. I heard that they're doing it, but my Lord, but when you see some videos from India, whoo, damn. During the engagement on Tuesday, the president reinforced the need for robust surveillance, monitoring, and testing systems to ensure that food products sold in supermarkets and markets across Guyana meet established standards for quality, safety, labeling, product description, and nutrition content. He urged the department to continue strengthening laboratory capacity and regulatory enforcement so consumers can trust that products on shelves are accurately described and safe to eat. That is so important, really. One thing, We do enforce that to a great extent in Trinidad. I'm not saying perfectly, but we do. We do to a significant extent. Ministers and GAFDD officials discussed the coordinated measures between health and agriculture authorities to improve inspections, expedite testing turnaround times, and enhance public information on nutrition and labeling compliance. The meeting underscored the government's commitment to protecting public health through stronger food safety systems and clearer consumer protections. Jamaica's Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Christopher Tufton, says he has instructed the regional health authorities and the University Hospital of the West Indies to act immediately to address the working conditions of medical interns who have taken protest action to object to what they describe as exploitative working environment. In a statement yesterday, Tufton said effective immediately, the RHAs and UHWI are to implement measures, including facility inspections, with a comprehensive physical audit of all intern accommodation facilities to be completed within 72 hours. It was indicated that the findings are to be submitted to the Permanent Secretary's office no later than Friday, June 2026. That's a nice short space of time. Sounds good to me. Further, Tufton said senior medical officers have been instructed to review duty rosters to ensure that interns, residents, and senior house officers are scheduled appropriately. Human resource directors across all RHAs are also required to submit within 5 working days a detailed assessment of intern staffing gaps by department and facility. The assessment will inform accelerated deployment under the 2026 Medical Internship Program. Additionally, Employee Assistance Program coordinators have been directed to proactively engage intern cohorts and provide access to mental health and wellness support services. During his maiden contribution to the 2026-2027 budget debate, Senator Clint Watson said the government is preparing to implement a national drug strategy aimed at taking decisive action against drug-related issues in the Bahamas. I hope you never, I don't know if you have already done so, but I hope that you never legalize the herb marijuana. It's a drug that destroys people's sensory neurons, their minds. Watson acknowledged the serious impact that drug abuse and trafficking continue to have on communities and stressed the importance of strengthening the country's response. Marijuana is a gateway drug, people. It leads many to end up taking much stronger drugs. He argued that investing in a comprehensive strategy to combat drug abuse and trafficking is critical to protecting future generations and ensuring the nation's long-term well-being and security.
This administration is building an agency capable of bringing together health professionals, educators, social workers, law enforcement, civil society, and international partners. We are creating the structures necessary to gather data, identify trends, and respond to emerging threats. We are moving toward evidence-based policymaking. We are establishing the National Drug Observatory. We are creating a National Drug Information Network. We are implementing an early warning system to identify dangerous substances before they devastate our communities. And for the first time in our nation's history, the Bahamas will have a measurable, costed, comprehensive national drug strategy. I wish to commend Dr. Raymond King and his dedicated team for their extraordinary efforts in laying the foundation for this important agency. Dr. King is leading the mandate and in charge of getting the heavy lifting done to launch this agency with the greatest efficiency and effectiveness. Their commitment demonstrates what can be achieved when public servants dedicate themselves to the service of our country.
International news now. President Trump just turned up the pressure on Senate Republicans. You remember, he thinks he's the king of the world. Now, I don't support the Democrats' no kings woke movement. a lot of their concerns aren't even valid, But definitely, they're right to an extent now. Trump is acting as though he's a king that doesn't need to answer to anyone or be held accountable. Hours before a meeting with GOP senators on Capitol Hill, the president canceled a White House signing ceremony for a bipartisan housing bill and used an ultimatum: no signing until Congress passes the Save America Act. The move puts Trump's growing frustration with Senate Republicans on full display. While the housing bill passed in both chambers of Congress with overwhelming bipartisan support, GOP leaders have repeatedly said they don't have the votes to advance SAVE and have resisted calls to eliminate the filibuster. The Save America Act would overhaul elections in all 50 states and add new proof of citizenship and voter ID requirements, things that I believe are important to do, which Trump has repeatedly hailed as a very popular policy and common ground between both sides of the aisle. Now the president is publicly challenging Republicans to find a way forward. Yeah, but why try to say you're not going to sign one bill in order to be able to get this one done? You're just trying to, what you call the art of the deal, Trump? I don't think that's a wise decision. But once again, everything that you're doing these days doesn't even make any kind of sense. Israel's Channel 14 published exclusive quotes from IRGC commander, the terrorists in Iran, Ahmad Vahidi, to senior regime officials. We brought President Trump to his knees. We got what we wanted. As usual, the foolish West believes it is getting something in return from us, which of course will never happen. These people are so arrogant, because they know very well they will say this, and Trump will still say, no, I don't believe them, because they already made the agreement. So they could boldly make these kind of declarations publicly. And Trump will still continue to try to make these, because there's months now they see it happening. You think if they really saw that Trump was taking decisive action, they would have been making these kind of comments publicly? No, but they have no respect for Trump anymore. Our goal right now is to keep the Americans on a short leash. Any violation, no matter how small, will allow us to threaten the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, and Trump and his people will agree to anything. You see, they know it. That's exactly what they did, and they accomplished it. They got Trump to bow down to them and say amen, because all he cares about at the end of the day is making money for America. Make America great again. While all what you're doing is funding terrorism now in Iran. And Iranians will fund terrorism throughout the rest of the Middle East. Smart boss Trump, like the conservatives here in Trinidad and Tobago love to call him boss. Trump thinks we will spend money he is giving us on buying American goods. That will never happen in our lifetime. The Iranian terrorists, the Ayatollahs and so forth, in their faith, in their religion, they are given the authority to lie. So of course they will tell in the agreement itself while during the meeting. They will say yes, we will agree to that. And then they're going to end up violating that agreement. That's what Trump fails to understand and realize. Now we need to make the Americans understand that Israel is the bad actor in the Middle East. That is the goal. And that is what they're already accomplishing, because right now Trump keeps telling Israel, back off from Lebanon and back off from attacking the Hezbollah terrorists, because we need to seal this deal with Iran. All of a sudden now, Israel is the bad guy, because Trump wouldn't be able to get his deal with Iran unless Israel submits to him. How demonic this whole situation is. Trump is under control of the Antichrist spirit. Do I know he's the Antichrist? No, I don't. But he's definitely under the control, because remember, the spirit of the Antichrist is already here, But the particular person that will be possessed by it for that 7 years hasn't been revealed yet. We don't know. Maybe it still might end up being Trump. We don't know. Do not give up anything, threaten, and if necessary, walk away from the talks, the official went on to say. And Trump will just say, they're just talking that, you're talking that. They don't understand. We will go back and bomb this and bomb that again. They don't care, Trump. They don't care because they know, they have learned and they have realized that you will go and take a little action for 1 day or 2 days, bomb a few places, and then you back to talks again. You will never finish the job. And that's the only thing they would have been afraid of, is if you had finished the job and toppled their regime. They realize you're just on games, and they will continue to play the game with you. They don't care about sacrificing certain infrastructure, you know, or their own people, you know. They murder their people by tens of thousands. You think they really care about the infrastructure? Trump, telling you, and Vance, and all these people, and all everybody that's supporting Trump right now, are blinded by the spirit of the Antichrist. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that a lot of the Christians that are supporting Trump right now have lost their salvation. I don't think it's a salvation issue. But they're definitely spiritually blind. And they say, well, I'm going to lose rewards because of my weaknesses. They're going to lose rewards as well. And what they are doing is bordering idolatry. And I believe that is going to cause a lot of judgment to fall upon Trinidad and even America. You cannot idolize a person and you cannot idolize a political party. Matter of fact, you're not supposed to idolize anything. Idolatry is a sin. Worship God in spirit and in truth. And that is what you're supposed to be doing.
Bible quote of the day. Genesis 11:1-9. Now the whole earth had one language and the same words. And as people migrated from the east, they found a plain in the land of Shinar and settled there. And they said to one another, Come, let us make bricks, and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and bitumen for mortar. Then they said, Come, let us build ourselves a city and a tower with its top in the heavens, and let us make a name for ourselves, lest we be dispersed over the face of the whole earth. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of man had built. And the Lord said, Behold, they are one people, and they have all one language, and this is only the beginning of what they will do. And nothing that they propose to do will now be impossible for them. Come, let us go down and there confuse their language, so that they may not understand one another's speech. So the Lord dispersed them from there over the face of all the earth, and they left off building the city. Therefore its name was called Babel, because there the Lord confused the language of all the earth. And from there the Lord dispersed them over the face of all the earth.
Folks, that brings us to the end of today's headline news. Thanks again to everyone who continues to support my content. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Stay blessed and stay safe, most of all. In Jesus' name.